Well, hello everyone. Let's see, this is the Saturday video, day 25. We've got this one labeled at, and doing pretty well. Actually got up past Parrottville and Greenville, made it through Greenville. I think I told you about the gentleman I bumped into, Stephen Tate, who not only whose land did I spend the night on when I tented the other night, but turns out that that night when we met, he was heading off to Gunnersville, the Boaz area, right where we're living right now. So that was an amazing, kind of an amazing meeting. The way we met, and just so much in common that we ended up having. And it's kind of like how it's been on this journey. I've witnessed some amazing things and met some very incredible people. That's kind of what I want to talk about today. Once I got out of Greenville, up to now I've been doing pretty well, considering I'm carrying a lot of weight on the backpack and trying to clock a lot of miles. But for some reason yesterday, as I started walking, I got some. I thought maybe if I got some of those foot pads, sole inserts, I could put inside my hiking boots, and might relieve some of the some of the fatigue of my feet and pain at the end of the day. So I went out and I don't know. Well, I won't mention the names, but I did buy a pair that was supposed to help with heel and high arch and all that sort of stuff. So I put it in and took off walking, and I don't know. I got maybe 3 miles down the road, and I started getting just very severe shooting pains right up through my heels. I've had small bouts of that, but nothing like this. This was very intense, constant. So I would kind of try to change the way I was walking, change the way my foot would hit the ground, shake it off, so to speak, and keep going. But the more I went, it started in my left foot, the more I went, the worse it got. And then my right foot started acting up, and it just got to the place where I literally could not walk. The pain was so severe. So I stopped and knelt down, and the only thing that was different were the sole inserts that I put in. And so I took them out and massaged my feet a little bit, got back on, started walking, got about another 1.5 miles down the road, and it did it again. So I figured I better take a break. So I took about a 30-40 minute break, called my wife, talked to her, massaged my feet the whole time, took off my backpack, took off my shoes, and just sat in the grass for a while, and started walking again. And actually by that time now I was able to walk. I was pretty tentative because I kept expecting the pain to come back, but I got about another 1.5 miles down the road, and it seemed like I was going to be doing okay. But I realized I was in a pretty long stretch between where I now was and Johnson City, which is where I ultimately needed to end up. And there wasn't a whole lot between where I was and there. And I knew that I wasn't, probably going to make Johnson City yesterday. So, I started thinking about food and water, and there really was just nothing much out there. And so as I'm walking along, there was a little, like a flea market, outdoor flea market that was closed down. They weren't open, but right next to it was a little place that was open. At first I kind of hesitated going in because I'm more comfortable going to like the gas station and getting Powerade and things like that, where there's a lot of people around that are kind of coming and going. And I'm walking alone, so I looked over there and thought, well, maybe I'll just wait, because there was a sign up the road too that showed a big intersection supposedly, and a lot of times that's where you'll find those little gas stations and things with a convenience store. So long story short, 3 times I looked over there and decided not to go in. I got to the top of the hill, looked down at that intersection. There was absolutely nothing there, and nothing as far as the eye could see. So when I first started out, I made the pact with myself that I would never ever pass up the opportunity when it arose to get food or water. So after the 4th time in my head to say I need to do that, I decided to go in. And so I walked in and immediately was met by a person who came up to me and started asking me all kinds of questions, and wanted to know what I was doing, where I was going, and of course I gave them the full Freedom Walk 2010 experience. And I got to tell you, these were the most accommodating, salt of the earth, best people you could ever want to meet. I mean, I was literally there for about 2 hours, and we talked, and I mean, they bought me lunch. There's a few names that I have of some people. I didn't get everybody's name, and I feel bad about that, but there had to be at least 20 people in there, and everybody was so accommodating. The first thing they did before I could even sit down, they had a beer, an ice cold beer, waiting for me at the table, and that's how the whole time went with them. I mean, it was just one thing after another. But yeah, it was Leslie, or they call her May. She heard what was going on, and I ordered a burger, which by the way is the best hamburger in Tennessee. And Leslie, or May, I guess they call her May, she bought me the lunch and another beer, and you know, like I said, the accommodation was just, it was overwhelming. It was absolutely overwhelming. And you know, I bumped into Henry. I believe Henry was he's an ex-police, either police chief or police detective, not sure, but again, very accommodating, offering to help me along the way, give me the assistance I needed since my feet were hurting so bad, and I really appreciated that. Then I met a guy, Maverick. They call him Maverick, and Maverick knows everything you'd want to know about that area, and gave me a great, just kind of a great history lesson as to, you know, what's there, and all the, it's very rich in history, by the way, and that these folks, they all get together and do wagon trains over the weekend, and just, I mean, it was just overwhelming with the folks that I bumped into, and all of the things that they had to offer and say and accommodate me with. Then I met Hennard Myers, and Hennard Myers is an he's an ex-Vietnam vet, POW. I think they told me he was in his 70s. I didn't believe him that he was that old, but they tell me he was in his 70s. And Hennard gave me this right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it really kind of just sort of staggered me. See if I can get it right in there. And it's the VFW token. And let me read what it says on here. It's Department of the Army, United States of America, and it's pretty heavy. I don't know if you can hear that or not. And on the back it says Army of One, second to none. And he said he wanted me to have this, and I just kept refusing because I said, you know, Hennard, this is yours. You know, I shouldn't have this, but he insisted that I take it. And so we have a little pact between Hennard and I. I guess what happens is you go into any VFW with one of these tokens, and there's a challenge that you might get, and that's with the other vets that are there. And I guess the way the challenge goes is if somebody comes up to you and says, I want to see your coin, or I want to see your coin. If you can't produce the coin, then you have to buy everybody a beer that's in there. But if you get asked the challenge and you can produce the coin, then the person that challenged you has to buy everybody in the VFW a beer. So our pact between the two of us was, when I get to Washington, D.C., if I get a chance to see Obama, he said, you challenge him to see his coin, because I know he ain't got one of these. And then he'll have to buy everyone there a beer, and then I'm to bring back the beer that he bought me for Hennard. And I told him if I get a chance to see Obama, I would absolutely do this. The support was just amazing, and even gave me, you know, they bought me you know, some beers and bought me lunch, but the financial support even gave me some financial support as I went through. I just can't say enough about the folks that I ran into, and I even got this key. Where is it? This key. It's John Deere keys. I guess there's a John Deere factory or something there. A lot of the folks there work there. He just gave me the key, didn't give me the tractor. But the name of the place, and I even bought a T-shirt because I want to be able to go back there when I get done with my walk. Can you see this? It's called the Handlebar Grill. The Handlebar Grill in Chuckey, Tennessee. There it is, right there. And I'm going to tell you what, folks. I was there for 2 hours, and I didn't want to leave. I did not want to leave. And it was Kim that, again, offered to get me down the road where I needed to go, where I wasn't out in the middle of nowhere. I wouldn't have made it any other way. So, Kim, I really thank you for that. Some of the finest people you're ever going to want to meet there in Chuckey, Tennessee at the Handlebar Grill. I thank every single one of you for what you did for me. It was more than you know. God bless you all.